guys, and welcome to Financial Friday. I have a few questions from me today. The first is from Deidre Chavos, and she says, "Hey budget girl, how do you use the extra pay period to pay on extra on debt when rent is due on the 1st? Can you explain?" And what I think you're talking about is if you're paid bi-weekly, every other week, twice a year, what happens is there's going to be an extra paycheck that comes in, and you can use that to put towards your debt or put towards savings goals or treat yourself or do whatever with. I did do a video on this previously, and I'll link it down below. And the way that you have to finagle this with rent is because if you're used to getting, you're still getting the paycheck every single 2 weeks, and if you're not budgeting, then what's probably going to happen is you're just not even noticing that paycheck's coming through. So if you're budgeting for 2 paychecks a month, you have to hang on to that second paycheck of the month. For if you're anything like me, you have to hang on to part of that to pay the expenses that start at the beginning of the next month. So you're not going to just be able to take this third paycheck and throw it towards your debt if you're not budgeting, because you will have gotten enough that month to pay for all of your monthly expenses and do everything you previously did. There's just going to be a longer lean time between that second paycheck of the month that you're getting 3 paychecks on and the first paycheck of the next month. So you have to budget on this is the key. So make sure you're doing that. Watch the video below. It might help you out just a little bit. Alright, Mama Filese says, "What are the steps to becoming a YouTuber? What equipment do I need to get started?" This is a cool question. I'm so glad you asked me this. You really don't need that much to start becoming a YouTuber. Now, you can certainly go out and spend an absolute ton of money on lighting equipment, cameras, backdrops, all that stuff, but my first video I did off of my laptop webcam, and I'm currently shooting on my iPhone, and like a $9 tripod. So you could go out there and just spend an absolute ton of money, or you could get started with next to nothing. And I would encourage you, especially if you're not certain that this is something you want to be doing, or if you are just want to be budget friendly like me, get started with what you have and see if you want to commit to this long term. When I changed from my webcam, and the reason I did that was because it kept cutting off like the feed, and I'd have to keep reshooting, and I started shooting it on my the camera that I use for work, which is actually right here. I have this Nikon DSLR, which I use primarily for work since I'm a journalist. Now, it does have a video function. You can shoot up to 20 minutes. This is not a very good camera for videoing, but you can do it. I've actually found it's a lot easier just to pop my iPhone onto my tripod, and that works really well. You can shoot with your phone. I've shot with this before I had a tripod stacked up on books on a table. You can really do it very cheaply. And some people will argue that you can't, that you need all of this stuff to make good quality videos, and I debunk that. I don't have any sound equipment. I did that because people clip the little mics here, and I'm not just undressing. I don't have any sound equipment. I don't have any lighting equipment. The only light I have, it's a little harsh, but it's just the overhead light in my room. You can, if you want some better natural light, you can sit facing a window and do it when it's nice out. You don't really need anything to get started other than something to record something on. I know a lot of YouTubers that use those little flip cameras for a while. That's literally the only piece of technology you need, because it'll plug right into your computer. YouTube is, of course, completely free to start your own channel on and upload. All you need is a Gmail account, which is completely free. So all you need is something to record on and a way to get that online. And then you can upload and start your own channel, and it doesn't cost a cent. And eventually, if you keep doing it, and you make stuff that people like, YouTube will actually start paying you. So, and then you can, I think when that happens, and reminder, it took me a year to see a cent from YouTube. Just disclaimer. A whole year of posting videos, never saw a dime. I make money now, but if, you know, if somewhere in that year I decided, hey, I don't really want to do this anymore, and I'd spend a bunch of money on equipment, that would have been quite a waste, right? So, yeah, try it out without anything, and go from there. See what you think. Alright. Linda Wilson said, oh, and the only things that I've actually invested in to do this YouTube stuff is I bought a tripod. And it was like $20 from Walmart. And honestly, I needed a new one for work anyway, because I just lost my old one. That was it. That's all I've done. And the P.O. box. I bought the P.O. box eventually. Alright, Linda Wilson says, hi BG and Happy New Year. A couple of questions. Why does your debt bounce up and down from one week to another? Shouldn't it always go down as long as you're making a payment? Also, will you do a video on the Christmas cards and goodies you received from subscribers? Please say yes. And Lisa Lister asked a similar first question, and she said, hey Budget Girl, love your post. You're so honest about getting out of debt, and it really relates to my own feelings as well. I do have a silly question. You have an amount listed on the title of each post. Today's amount is $19,543. I see that usually goes down, but some weeks I see the amount goes up. Why is that? Now, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know that on the title of every video, I put what my debt is that day. And all of my debt is student loans. And the reason that it bounces up and down is not because I'm taking on more debt. It's because of interest. And so if you don't have student loans or a loan or any debt of any kind, you know that you may not know that you have interest on these things, and that's why if you don't make payments, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, even if you are making payments on time, your debt is still accruing interest. Now, my student loan debt is at 6.8%. So much. So much. Some people have houses financed at like 2.3. So I actually incur about $100 of interest each month. Now it depends. It depends on how much debt you have, because at one point I was gaining $300 of interest each month. But I have paid so much for the principal, and I've paid it down enough to where it's about $100, $150 a month that I'm paying, and that accrues daily. So every single day that the student loan company, and I have Migrate Lakes, has my contract, has my debt, they get to tap on just a little bit of interest. And because I monitor it online, I can see my daily balance. And you can do that through your student loan website or through mint.com, which does it for free. And I just log in whenever I post a video, and I see what my debt is that day. So even if I made a $300 payment 2 days ago, and my loan went from, for sake of ease, $19,300 to, I made a $300 payment, it went down to $19,000 in the past 2 days, I still had 6.8% accrue on that $19,000 that's left. Now, that amount is going to be slightly less than if it had been accruing on the $19,300. And that's how it works, is the interest is going down as I pay the loan down. But because I post videos more than once or twice a month when I make payments, you're going to see, you see it drop a lot, and then you see it go, and then you see it drop, and then, and it's dropping more than it's increasing, obviously, or else I'd be doing something horribly wrong. But it does increase, and so that's a way to stay mad at your debt, because every single day it's there, it's earning interest, it's getting bigger. So yeah, you can get mad at it. All right, Taylor Nicholson. Oh, and Linda, I will do a mail haul soon. I'm sorry, it's been a little busy. Alright, Taylor Nicholson says, I've been on my Dave plan for about 3 months, but I still struggle with being strict with my envelope system. I never get more money out of the bank, but if I want more eating out money, I'll steal from gas and so on. Any advice? Okay. I, too, have been guilty of this. when I did cash envelopes, I kept restaurant, grocery, and entertainment, basically my personal money, in envelopes in my wallet. And I too did this, and I hated it because it always screwed up reconciling my budget. I would go a little over on grocery money, so I'd pull it out of my restaurant fund, or I wouldn't. I would need exact change for something, and I wouldn't have the money in my personal budget, so I'd take it out of grocery, or I'd buy something online for technically that should have come out of my personal money, and I wouldn't take that money out of my personal envelope and put it back into the bank. And because you're dealing with like exact amounts here, say I order something online for $7, I only have a $10 bill in my thing. What do you do with that? Do you go and deposit that to the bank and use that? I found it too taxing to do that. So I do keep a small amount of cash in my wallet, but I treat every transaction now like it's a debit transaction. And I have changed all of, aside from laundry, I do pull out money in cash to do laundry because I need the quarters. But other than that, I use my debit card for 95% of things. And because I do that, then I go home and I reconcile that onto my budget. I have my receipt. I'll actually show you. I'll have my receipts in my wallet. Let's see. Alright, on the 6th, I went to KFC, and KFC Taco Bell, and I spent $3.73. Now, I need to go on my computer, and I'll input $3.73 into my restaurant box, and that will deduct $3.73 from my $40 a month restaurant budget. And then I'll see that and I'll know how much I have left. Now I have 3 receipts in here right now. I keep them in my wallet and a post-it note. I'll keep them in my wallet until I put them in my budget. And then after I put them in my budget, I throw them away. And when my wallet is empty, I know that I've reconciled. Now I do keep a small amount of cash down here, but that is just in case someone doesn't take cash. And I think of this as being part of my bank account. So what happens is if I have to use this, I still put the receipt here and I still put it in my budget, taking it out of that section. Now this system may not work for you. An all cash system works for so many people and it's absolutely fantastic. I can't play by the rules on that though. Because I would do like you were doing. I would play mixy with the envelopes, and then I'd never be able to figure it out. I'd be halfway through the month, not have $20 left in the grocery thing, and then be like, where did my money go? I don't know. I definitely didn't spend it on groceries. Did I spend it on? And I wouldn't know. And because I didn't have any electronic record, because I wasn't saving my receipts at the time either, because I didn't have any electronic record, I would just kind of have to throw up my hands and be like, well, you're eating ramen. Or, get more money out of the bank, something. So the way that I do it now, I keep a electronic record of exactly where my money's going. I can check it on my phone. I can see my budget on there and see how much money I have left in each category, which is very helpful. It lets me know whether or not I can buy something. And, because I just keep it all logged in there, I keep my budget balance. Now, like I said, you can do this however you want. I've tried the cash envelope system so many times, and it just doesn't work for me personally and my brain because I break the rules and I play flip-flop with the envelopes. So, and also, like, if I bought something online, you take the cat, I think I already mentioned that. But yeah, there are different ways to do this. You just have to find the way that works for you, and don't feel bad because you don't use a Savvy Sense wallet or a cash envelope system like everybody else. As long as you are logging your money and you're spending on a budget, you're spending intentionally, and you know where your money's going, That's what budgeting is. It doesn't matter if it's in cash or if it's a debit card. Yes, there have been studies that say people spend more with debit cards. I spend more with cash because I lose it. It just flies away like birds. So don't feel bad. Just try a couple different systems, see what works for you, and good luck. All right. Francis Blankhorn asks, we have just started the journey and have been budgeting for a month now, and I am impressed we have stuck to it. January, February goal is to complete step 1, then on to the pesky credit cards. I am in the UK and Dave is not popular here, though I'm not a Christian, so maybe he is. My question is, do you ever feel like, I think that's what you meant, would you ever feel like just having a month off from the snowball and treating yourself? Francis, I'm so excited you started this journey. It's going to be fantastic, but taking a month off is not how it works. You will lose all the progress that you've made so far. And you can splurge and you can treat yourself when you're on the Dave Ramsey plan. You just have to budget for it, which is probably not what you wanted to hear, but you're a newbie to this, so just stick with it, please. Stick with it. If you feel like treating yourself, you need to put that in your budget. So now, of course, that since you're doing a zero-based Dave budget, you're going to have to take that money from somewhere else. And so, no, I wouldn't ever take a month off from doing a budget, probably because I'd feel naked at this point. And it's such a better plan. I really think I'd feel nude. If I want something, I plan for it. And, if I want to go to visit family, or if I want to treat myself to a manicure, or buy a nice dress, you just have to plan a little bit for that. And then put it in that month's budget. And yes, that means taking it from somewhere else, whether it be savings, or grocery, or entertainment, or eating out. But you can do anything you want to within the parameters of your budget. All a budget is telling your money, hey, this is where you're going to go. And you can tell your money, hey, let's go have fun. But I don't think that you should ever take a month off and, just go back to your old wild ways of just not knowing where your money's going and not progressing with it. Because I don't think you probably started this money journey because, things were going fine that way. I know I didn't. Things weren't going fine when I was not taking a month off, but just not planning. So don't take a month off, please. Keep with it, especially since you're so new with it. Just give it a few months. I'm so glad your first month's budget worked out really well. Maybe it was a little bit too strict. Make sure you have a little bit of money in there for fun, for treating yourself. Not a huge amount. You're trying to save $1,000. That's really important to have. You're trying to pay off your credit cards. That's really important too. But, maybe give yourself $5, $10 personal money to do something fun with, or to buy yourself a soda, or treat yourself a little bit so you don't feel like it's so restrictive. But don't take a month off a month after you have started the Dave plan. No, please don't. That won't help. All right. In a Pickle asks, how many no-spend months are you planning this year? I did one last year, but I'm thinking I'll do 2 this year along with my no-spend week every month. One thing I'm doing is a pantry stock for the month of January. I found a lot of deals on food this time of year, and it helps me get through the summer without overspending. Alrighty. I'm planning 0 no-spend months this year. I hate them. Don't judge me. I really hate them. I did a no-spend September last year with a whole bunch of YouTube friends, and while I think they're fantastic, I hate them for me in my life, because I don't really allot that much, of personal spending or restaurant spending. It's $100, and actually this year it's less than that. I think it's only $80 because I cut both of those categories down. It's $80 a month. That's $20 a week. It just makes me feel so restricted. And I really hesitated in answering this question because I don't want to discourage anyone from doing a no-spend month. But they're really cool, and you get to save money for your goals, and you get to do all sorts of extra stuff at the end of the month. But I'm single. I live alone. I'm in a fairly new town where I don't have a ton of friends, and I work a very stressful job. And a no spend month basically makes me go to work, come home, go to work, come home, go to work, come home for an entire month. Because there's nothing to spend other than grocery money and bills. And that's torture. I'm an extremely social person. And yeah, you can go to like friends' house and stuff, but I only have one friend here. And yeah, no, I just really don't like them. I love that other people are doing them though. I think it's a good way to kind of test your resolve. My resolve is not strong. I need to be able to like go window shopping at a flea market or a dollar store or something like that. And even if I don't buy anything, which most of the time when I go shopping, I don't buy anything. I don't. I just love the hunt. I just love the hunt of like garage sales and stuff like that. But when I'm on a no spend month, I feel like I can't even go participate in that because I'll feel like, I'll find, some treasure and I won't be able to do it, and that'll be worse than not going at all. So, like, Christy over at the former Mrs. Jones is leading the no spenduary, and there are so many people on board with her, and I am rooting for her and all of you guys that are doing this so hard. I am just not doing it with you. I'll tell you what I've spent for my personal money this month too. I spent $23 and I got a bunch of really cool vintage mason jars that have the glass lid and the clasp at a garage sale, and I got this metal wire bin that's going to help me with some recycling I've started doing. And the jars are normally like $11, $12 each. The kind that they're like the Le Parfait French canning jars, and I got them for $2 and $3 each. And this was a whole day with a friend and her family, my one friend, and we went up to this trade days thing in a close town, and we shopped all of these flea markets and stuff, and I didn't buy a single thing until the very last one, where I found a bunch of stuff I really liked. So I don't know, it was worth it to me. Spending money like that to me is a very social experience. I don't like no spends. And I'm not saying I'll never do one again, but I'm not doing one in January. It's my birthday month. I want to spend money. It's very cold. Every excuse in the book. Good luck to every single person out there who's doing no spend. I am so rooting for you. I support you in this. I am just doing it from the sidelines. So I hope that answered your question in a pickle. Good luck in your no spend months. I just hate them. All right, and last question. Happy Budgeter says, I have a question. Good. We don't have a sinking fund for clothes or really anything because we make enough income to just budget and pay for once in a while expenses the month they come up. I feel like the months I would have put a little money into the sinking fund, I could have been saving interest by paying it towards the debt instead. This goes for anything under a few $100s. Any thoughts, recommendations? All right. It sounds like if you have enough basically flux money in your budget that you can pay for things that are upcoming, that's great. And you can do that. Things like, and you're probably referring to, I have a bunch of funds that are year-round that come out to like $40. Like my Pig Fest fund, which is just to pay for basically gas and a t-shirt and some snacks at a family reunion I go to every year. To Operation Christmas Child. I mean, I put my birthday fund, I put $5 a month into each of those, $4 or $5 a month. And technically, yes, you'd probably earn more money if you paid that $5 a month, $15 in total, to the debt instead of putting them into a sinking fund. And then when those months arise, you just have to rework your budget and do it. My thing is that I don't like to rework my budget. The way that I have figured my budget out is that there aren't really any fluctuating expenses. So from month to month, nothing's really changing. Um, I've been doing this long enough that anything that comes up every once in a while, I sinking fund, because I don't want to have to scramble or deal with forgetting that something is coming up that month and then having to rework the budget to do it. My budget's pretty much set. I set it like once a year. I change it if something needs to be changed, if something, big changes, like car insurance. If I got a new car and needed new car insurance and it went up, or if, it went down, and I adjust, but I don't like reworking my budget every month. That's a pain in the booty. So the reason that I do sinking funds the way I do is because anything that can come up, for instance, medical expenses or holidays or anything like that, the money's already there. And so I know when it happens, I don't have to adjust the budget. I don't have to change anything. I don't have to take money out of my personal money. I don't have to take money out of groceries or restaurant. It's just there in my sinking funds, and I can pull it out. So, and you're saying that you have enough income to pay for the once in a while expenses, but that makes me kind of wonder, how much are you not putting towards debt to have that cushion there? And I'm not judging you. I'm not telling you you're doing absolutely anything wrong. I just know that my budget is zero based, and every dollar has a name. So everything's going either towards savings or bills or my student loan or my regular expenses like grocery and laundry and stuff like that. So maybe you just have like a big personal fund that, if you need new clothes, you pull it from there. And that makes sense for clothes. A lot of people do that. I don't have a clothing sinking fund. If I want a new piece of clothing, I either wait for Christmas or I take it out of my personal money. If it works for you, go for it. For anyone else that, might not want to adjust their budget each month, what is this? That much, it might be better to sinking fund anything that you know is coming. Like Christmas. Christmas is more than a couple $100s. I hope you're sinking funding your Christmas. It's just anytime something comes up, I've got the money there. I don't have to worry about adjusting my budget. So that's the way I do things. And that's why I do things the way I do. You can do things however you please. If it works for you, that's fantastic. So there are definitely pros and cons to each way. You're right. The money that is in my the $40 that I save a year for my Operation Christmas Child, yeah, that technically, I'm sure that would take just a little bit more interest off than it's earning in my savings account, but it's such teeny little baby numbers that I feel better knowing that it's there, and it's worth it to me. So those are all the questions for today. Please ask yours below. We'll see you soon. Bye.